Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Creation Myths. What we're going to do here is we're going to have a quick lesson in science communication and bad science communication via some recent stuff put out by Dr. Jerry Coyne. So this is kind of a small thing, but I want it. I want to bring everyone's attention to it because it is a useful kind of thing that we can learn from here. Okay. So, Jerry Coyne, he's a biologist. He's the author of a book called Why Evolution is True, and he writes a blog of the same name. Generally, his stuff is fine. The book is a perfectly good overview of evolution and, how we know that evolution actually explains biodiversity. I think it's good. He is occasionally completely wrong about stuff, like he's way off base on sex and trans issues. He's one of the sex is strictly binary people, and I don't like that because that's wrong. I don't know how a biologist could look at human sex determination and say it's binary, but here we are. So there's some problems there, but that's not the point. What we're talking about now is a recent article on his blog on human-chimp genome similarity. And this article is based on the paper that was published earlier this year that made a bit of a splash. And when I say earlier this year, I mean 2025. So the problem isn't really the article. I'll talk about the article in a minute. But the problem is really around the social media posts about this article. So Coyne seems to take this headline here at face value. He uses this as one of the pictures in the tweet that he put out, basically accepting the claim that the findings in this paper resulted in a revision of the 98% similarity between humans and chimps down to about 85% genome similarity. Now, that is not the case. Those are two different numbers. They're two different ways of measuring similarities and differences between genomes. And this is not new. We've known about this for years. So that specific number, where if you do the comparison a certain way, you get in the 80-something% range, that's actually not a new finding. So that headline right there, the 98% myth, that is trash. And given the little DNA emoji, it's also probably AI generated, so not great. Not great to be using that, not great to be kind of showing that as the thing when you're putting your article on this topic out into the world. So I want to use this as a teachable moment to remind people to be conscientious about what you put out into the world and how you do it. And the thing is, way more people are going to see the social media posts about any given article than will actually read the article, and especially will read the article in its entirety. That's what we should really be focusing on here. So here is Jerry Coyne's tweet on this, which reads, "Recent data and analysis show that the genetic difference between humans and our closest relatives is not 2%, but about 15%. And again, that is wrong. It's not that one number replaced the other. Both of those numbers are valid based on how you do the comparison. And then accompanying this tweet, you can see there are two pictures there. On the left, it's the paper itself. Here's the paper. And then on the right is this god-awful headline. So here's my takeaway from this way of communicating. Don't do this. This is bad science communication. Don't just put a headline like that out into the world without making sure it's accurate, because most people are only going to read the headline. Take 5 minutes and Google it before you put stuff out into the world and make sure what you're putting out there is actually accurate. This is true for everyone. It's especially true for scientists, and it's especially true for science communicators. Don't put misleading information out into the world. The text of the tweet and the accompanying headline are misleading at best and misinformation at worst. Now, the article itself on Jerry Coyne's blog is not perfect, but it is more nuanced than the headline shown in the tweet. And after several people pointed out the problem with the headline and kind of explained a little bit of the caveats and the nuances in the numbers, he appended a note to the bottom of the article. So here is that note. It reads, "I'm aware now that creationists and ideas have been using this 85% to cast doubt on human evolution, our place in the ape family tree, and whether evolutionists are honest. This is bogus. The 85% versus 98% depends on two different methods of calculating similarity. Whichever method you choose, alignment versus total genomic similarity, the same family tree of the great apes appears, with chimps/bonobos as our closest ancestors," I think he means relatives, "then gorillas a bit more distant, then orangutans, and then other apes. The point of this post is not to cast doubt on human or ape evolution, but to show different ways of calculating genetic similarity." That's fine, but it's too little too late. The number of people who will read the whole article is minuscule compared to the number of people who will see that nonsense headline in the tweet he put out. There's literally, look at that, there's literally tens of thousands of views on the tweet. There's no way the article, never mind the note at the very bottom, is going to get an equivalent number of eyeballs. Way more people are just going to see that headline, they're going to file it away as fact and not go any deeper into the issue. This is a failure of scientific communication. And my point in this video is to say that if you are at all interested in pushing back against pseudoscience and misinformation, you have an obligation to double check what you put out into the world. Coyne didn't do that in this case, and it gives ammunition to creationists and promotes a misunderstanding of the issue at hand. Everybody, do better than this. Do better. Thanks for watching. Please remember to hit the like button before you go, leave a comment, subscribe, consider becoming a channel member to get immediate access to pre-recorded videos, and as always, don't get fooled.